Hello everyone. This video will show how to factor a trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c using the factor tree. If you notice, our a in this type of expressions that we're going to have is equal to 1. So let's go over this example here. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this down here. Notice that there is an invisible 1 in front of the x squared here. So I just wrote that down there. So what we do so that we can factor this out is we are going to multiply the first, which is the a, and we multiply the c. So that would be 1 times positive 20. So again, we're going to multiply that. The answer to that is positive 20. So I'm going to write that down on the side over here. So positive 20. Now we're going to get the factors of 20. Now we remember that to get a positive number, there are two options that we can get. So it's either we have both numbers multiplied together are positives, or both numbers multiplied together are negatives. Now we are going to get the factors of 20. So we're going to start first with 1 and 20. So that's the first factor. We also have 2. 2 works with 20, so that would be 2 times 10. 3 doesn't work with 20. 4 works with 20, so that is 4 times 5 is 20. So these are the factors for 20, because if after the 4 would be 5, and we already have it here. Remember that there are two sets of factors, both positives and both negatives. So I can go ahead and say this is positive 1 and positive 20. I can also have negative 1 and negative 20. I can have positive 2, positive 10, negative 2, negative 10, and then positive 4, positive 5, and just repeat it, negative 4, negative 5. These are all the possible factors of positive 20. Now we are going to figure out which of these factors that we have here would equal to the middle value, which is the b here, positive 9. So we're going to look for that number there so that when we add these two factors, it's positive 9. And if you notice, that value is positive 4 plus positive 5. So if we add these two together, it would come out positive 9, and that's the one that we're looking for. So then we can go ahead and say that the factors for this would be x, and then we write the x as well. Now we will fill these two values in. It can be in any order. So I can have plus 4 and plus 5. So this is the factored form for this trinomial that we have up there. Now let's have another example. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this expression that we have down here. Now we are going to multiply the a and the c. So that would be 1 times negative 10 is a negative 10. So I'm going to write that down here. That's negative 10. To get a product of negative 10, there are two possibilities. We can multiply a positive number and a negative number, or a negative number and a positive number. So we're going to list down all the factors of 10. So we're going to start with 1 and 10. So 1 times 10 is 10. We also have 2 works with 10, so that would be 2 times 5 is 10. 3 doesn't work with 10. 4 doesn't work with 10. 5 works with 10. We already have it, so we don't have to rewrite it. So we go ahead and write all the factors. Remember, it's positive and negative, so that's positive and negative. I will write the same thing, but this time around, I will do the negative and positive. And then I will do the same thing, positive and positive for this one, and then rewrite it. But this time around, I'm going to, this one is negative. And then this time around, I'm going to do negative and positive. Now we're going to look for these factors here such that if we add one of them, so it should be in one of these. If we add these two numbers here, it would come out negative 3. So we're going to start looking for that in this list. So we can see that that value is positive 2 plus negative 5 will give us negative 3, and that's the one that we're looking for. so that we can go ahead and rewrite this in factored form as x and we fill in any order, it doesn't matter, but that's a positive 2 and then that's a minus 5. So this is the factored form for this trinomial up there. Now let's have another example. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this expression that we have up here. So we're going to multiply the a and the c here. So 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So I'm going to write that down here. That's a negative 4. Again, there are two possibilities that when two numbers are multiplied together, it gets a negative value. So the two possibilities will be a positive times a negative, or a negative times a positive. So we're going to list down all the factors of 4. So this would be 1. So you always start with 1. So 1 and 4. And then 2 works with 4. So that would be 2 times 2 is 4. 3 doesn't work. We already have 4 the next one, so we don't have to rewrite it. So these are the only possibilities. So we're going to write positive and negative. So this one's positive and negative. I will repeat this. 1 and 4, but this time around we will have negative and positive. And then we have positive and negative, and then we write it out again, 2, but this time around it's negative and positive. So that we go ahead and figure out which of these 4 possibilities here, so that when we add them, it will give us a positive 3. And that pair would be negative 1 plus 4. That would give us positive 3. So that means our factored form for this would be x and x. So we always start with x and we pair them up. It can be in any order. So I can have negative 1 and positive 4. So this is the factored form for that trinomial that we have up there. Now let's have another example. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this expression that we have up here. So again, we're going to multiply the first term a and the last term c, multiply them together. So this is a positive 10. So we're going to have a positive 10 right here. So we're going to look for the factors of positive 10. Remember, if two numbers are multiplied together to get the positive, it can either be a positive multiplied by another positive, or a negative multiplied by another negative. Now let's list all the factors of 10. So that would be, always starts with 1 and 10. 2 works with 10, that would be 2 and 5. And then 3 doesn't work with 10, 4 doesn't work with 10, 5 works with 10, but we already have it, so we don't have to rewrite it. So that we say that it's positive and positive, so we take positive and positive, rewrite it, 1 and 10, but this time around it's both negatives. And then this is positive and positive, and then rewrite it, 2 and 5, but this time around it's negative and negative. So that we are going to figure out which of these pairs that we have here, when added together, it will give us negative 7. And that pair would be this one right here. So if we add this, this will give us negative 7. So that we can go ahead and say that the factors here would be negative 2 and 5, and it will be paired up with the x. So that would be x minus 2 and x minus 5. So this is the factored form for this given trinomial that we have up there. So that is how we factor trinomial using the factor tree.